Alright, this video is going to cover Nearpod. Nearpod is an excellent website and or app that you may utilize on your iPad to be able to present material to your students in different forms, as well as be able to assess them informally and formally, and it allows for students to be engaged into your classroom. Many teachers have already used Nearpod to present materials to their students, and they've also had their students create Nearpods and deliver them to the class, especially if you're wanting them to teach the class about a subject or a content. So it's a great alternative to the boring old PowerPoint. When you're into Nearpod, you do need to sign up for a free account. There are advanced accounts which allows you more features, but the free account will allow you to create the basic Nearpod. Once you're logged in, you can do multiple things. You can go to your library. Once you're into your library, this is where you have created your own presentation. So you'll see that I've created a couple of mine. Now there are many Nearpod presentations already created, and you can do that by selecting Explore. When you select Explore, again, you can find multiple different Nearpods that are already created. Once you find one that you like, you can save it into your library, and then you can access it at any time. All you have to do is go up to the search key up here, type in your search category, find the one that you like. So if I wanted to do maybe American history, let's see if there's anything. There's a couple that comes up, so maybe I wanted to do something today for Veterans Day. You'll see that some of these are going to cost you. You definitely want to do the free one. So maybe I would like to do, see a lot of them are, this is the only free one, so this is the one that I would like. You would select on the Nearpod. Again, you can click on free, and this will be, you can preview the content first, which is definitely what I recommend for everyone. You'll notice that Nearpods delivers content. This one polls the students. Another poll for students. This one adds in a video element, so students are staying engaged. There's a website for students to access as well, so you can add in multiple different contents, and they're just working through it. Multiple ways that you can work through Nearpod. You can do it, conduct it as a class, or you can assign it as homework where students can individually do it. So it does allow for personalized learning for each individual student. And when they do have a poll such as this, all this information that they select into the poll will be sent to you. So again, this is a way to informally assess your students. But again, once you like it, just select free. You'll notice that it's now in my library. Again, there are times where you cannot find a Nearpod, so you would have to create one of your own. Very simple. All you have to do is select New Presentation. Once again, it's just kind of like PowerPoint. You're going to add slides. You can delete slides. So if I want to add a slide, you can add in content, which would be the written words. I can add in web content, or I can also add an activity. If I select add a content, I can add in a slide, so I can type in text. I can add in a video that I found, like a YouTube video is great. I use some off of study.com as well. You can add in audio. They have a new one, which is a field trip by 360s. This, again, is going to be a pro account. You can add in web content, which, there we go. You can enter in a web address that you would like to direct the students to. You may also add in an activity. An activity is that you can ask students open-ended questions. So oftentimes I'll create a couple slides of content, and then I may ask them a question about the content that they had viewed. I can poll my students about what they think about something. Their results will be sent to me. I can do a quick 1, 2, 3 question quiz about the content that they reviewed. Sometimes I do it in the middle, just to quiz them to make sure that they understand the early content. And then I may do a quiz towards the end of the presentation, just so that they can cover that content. You can definitely do a draw it, so this is great if maybe you are working in art and you want them to draw something, or you can also do fill in the blanks. Pretty simple. If I do add in an open-ended question, all I have to do is type in my question. What day is today? Simple. I can hit save, and you can see that here's my question. Then all I have to do is add in another slide. I can add in a content. Today is Monday, and it is rainy. I can add in content. I can add an image here, and all I have to do is hit save. You'll see that the questions are now appearing. So again, I can add in another slide. Maybe I want to add in another activity. Maybe I want to poll my students. What is your favorite day? Monday, Thursday, Saturday. Okay? Again, I can hit save. I can add in more questions. I can do multiple ones. This is my poll. I want to see what their favorite day is. You can delete slides, and you can definitely preview. So if I select preview, I can see what my slide presentation will look like. This is what the slide will look like. This is what the open-ended question will look like. What I like about Nearpod is if I'm running Nearpod as a class, I'm in control of the slides. My students cannot advance forward. So oftentimes I will have them pull up Nearpod on their computers. I have it on my main screen. I'm advancing the slides. They have no control. So it's really good to control those students who like to work ahead and then they miss out on information. So I would control. However, if you assign this as a homework, they just go through the slides on their own and get the content. But once you're done, all you have to do is hit publish. It'll take a second. Now that I've hit publish, all I have to do is give it a name. I can describe it. I can choose the grade level. I can also choose the subject, maybe other, and all I have to do is hit publish. Once it's published, it's going to be saved into my library. So here it is right here. Once I'm in my library, I can either choose to have a live session. I want to conduct the Nearpod as a class, or I can assign it as a homework where students can individually do it at their own time. I would select homework, and this is the code that I would give to my students. So when they go to nearpod.com, it'll say join session code, and this would be the code that they would put in. Now you can email this to your students, you can provide a link to them, or I just write the code on the board and they know to enter that code into the classroom. Once they've entered this code, they have access to the Nearpod, they work individually on their own, they answer the questions and the polls, and then you receive the data. So back on my Nearpod homepage, you have your library. I can click on Explore to find Nearpods that are already created. I can hit Join if I want to join a Nearpod session. I can hit Create to create a new Nearpod, and I can also hit Reports. Reports is where you're going to gather that data that students put in. So my last one for economic systems for my students, and this data is saved. I can click See More, and I can see data from last school year. It's going to stay on here. I can click on economic systems. I can see when I delivered the content, so it's there. I can click on this Wednesday, October 21st, and the data comes up. I can look at students' participation. I can look at the correct answer ratio. I can look at their engagement details, what they answered, what they didn't answer. So again, I can download this content as a PDF, and then I can print it out later as an artifact. I can also share it. So this is a great way to receive that data that you would like to collect. Last thing I want to share with Nearpod is I went to the Learning Inspired website. It talks about 10 ways to use Nearpod in the classroom. Obviously the most simple one is for your presentation delivery. Also, it does allow personalized instruction to your students. You can create a Nearpod based on your different tier groups. You can distribute resources to your students. You can receive live informative assessments. You're getting real-time data. Again, ongoing assessment. I do this throughout a unit to make sure that I'm receiving assessment that will guide my instruction. You can have students be able to self-assess them as well. Modeling is a great thing that can be built into your presentations. There's open-ended tasks, so you're asking for those higher order thinking questions, and students are staying engaged. You can have it as a homework assignment for them, and then you can share and you can use pre-made resources. A lot of great tools, so please go to nearpod.com and sign up for a free account today.